Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I have a short yoga practice to share with you. And the intention of this practice is cooling, so it's a great one for summer. And with that in mind, I'm going to encourage you, if you're willing, to approach this practice in a way that's a little more relaxed and a little less competitive. So it's going to be more about getting curious about what we feel within our own bodies as we move, and less about trying to get into any particular shape. So if you have a tendency to be perfectionist or competitive in the way you approach your yoga, this might be challenging and probably a really good balance to strike for you in the way that you approach your practice, right? We are going to be lying down for most of this practice. We're going to use a strap-like object. I happen to have a yoga strap here. Dog leashes or bathrobe ties can work for this kind of thing. Anything that's kind of this shape would be helpful. I'm also going to give you the option to put your legs up on a chair or a wall when we get to the end of this practice today. So you're going to start lying down. You absolutely could use your furniture if that's the best place you have to lie down. If you're on the floor and it's a little firmer, that can be helpful. You're just going to have that strap nearby at hand. You're going to start by feeling into this position, getting as comfortable as you can, finding maybe some support for your head if you like. And we're looking for a cooling practice, so we might start by taking the arms out a little bit more from the body if that feels okay. So we have the opportunity to vent some heat from the armpits, especially if it's hot. I'm going to turn the pits of the elbows up and the palms of the hands up and just let the hands curl softly. As you're settling in here, you can start to see if as you breathe out, maybe you can get a little heavier through the arms and shoulders. Maybe you can feel your hips starting to sink into the floor, your head starting to sink into the floor or the pillow or whatever support you have there. You might notice the area around the navel quietly rising and falling as you breathe. You're going to see if you can start to gently slow your breath down and have a nice even rhythm of breath. We're going to take maybe even a little more space between the feet. If you're on a yoga mat, you might actually come out to the outer edges of the mat. If you're not on a yoga mat, just bring your feet out around your outer hips or a little wider than your outer hips. And we don't want the feet squished in towards the sitting bones, especially if we're trying to cool off. We want to make a little space behind the knee pits, but we want to still feel supported by the feet on the floor. We're going to start a little movement, but I'm going to encourage you to start with the smallest movement you can do here, rather than going all the way into the end of the motion. So you're going to inhale here. Exhale, knees just a little tick to the right. Inhale back to center and exhale, little tick to the left. So it's a windshield wiper, but it's really small. And just notice what happens. Do you feel impatient with this? And if so, are you able to just drop into your experience of the movement and notice what you feel as you do this teeny tiny little movement? Maybe you start to grow it a little bit. But I encourage you to keep it smaller than you normally would. You're going to start to feel as you get a little bigger here, maybe a little movement through the pelvis. That helps you to focus internally. You can close your eyes, you don't have to. But you're feeling into the movement of the pelvis on the floor as you're starting to take the knees a little wider, if you want. Noticing the connection between the movement of the legs and what you feel in the back of your body. Lovely. So, there's no rush here. You're following your own pace. There's definitely no race. When you're done with a movement to the left, you're going to come back up to center. And then you're going to walk your feet a little closer together so they provide more support as we start to lift one foot off the floor. We still want some space between the feet and some space between the feet and the sitting bones. Now you're going to want to have your strap. You're going to bring your right leg in towards you, and you're going to see if you can get that strap up around the right foot. Now, as you bring your leg up into the air, you may have some idea here about really wanting the leg to be straight. We get these aesthetic opinions, right? And that might feel amazing in your body or it might feel like torture, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to play a little bit. You might let your leg bend a lot. And then as you slowly straighten, you're going to see if you can tune into the sensations that you're feeling. And you're going to stop before you get the level of sensation that you normally would maybe try for in this pose. So we're looking for a sensation that's just starting to be different. A little bit of a different stretch. The other thing we can play here is with what's happening at the ankles. You may find as you're pulling the toes down that you're getting a lot of sensation somewhere. Maybe you could back off of that a little bit. This isn't because sensation is harmful or bad or wrong, right? But we're just seeing if we can approach things a little differently. So we're moving into a place of lighter sensation and doing so with a lot of curiosity, right? I'm just noticing, well, what's that like? Because this too is a place to learn about, not always like as straight as I possibly can get my leg with as much effort as possible, right? Maybe? I have that part of my brain pretty strongly, so I relate. So you're just breathing and noticing here. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and bend that leg, take the strap off the foot, bring the foot down to the floor. And you're going to take a pause just to notice what you feel. Maybe there are some little shifts as you recalibrate, right? Having done that movement, now coming to rest. And then we're going to try the other side, same pose. Supta Padangusthasana, bringing the foot in, bringing the strap up around the foot up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to play with, well, where is that place where the sensation starts to change? But we're not pushing to as much sensation as we can stand. We're not pushing to some idea of where our legs should be, right? We're really tuning inward and noticing, where does that new sensation start up? And what if I just hang out there? The world will not end, I promise. And then you're breathing and you're feeling, what does it feel like to be in this place? Remember, the foot and ankle play a role, right? So sometimes when we have that competitive side to us, we think, okay, well, I'm being soft in the knee, but I'm really going to work at the ankle. So you're going to see again what's going on there. You're getting maybe some new sensation as you straighten, but you're not going all the way to where you might normally go. And then you're noticing what happens. What is that place like? And then when you're ready, you're going to bring the foot down. Take the strap off the foot. We put the strap to the side now, bringing the foot down to the floor. And we'll take a few breaths here just to breathe, just to be, and notice. So we're going to do a little movement with the arms, and when we do that, the strap might be in the way, so feel free to move that strap off to the side a bit. We're going to bring the arms down by the sides, but out from the body a bit. And we're going to see if we can bring the hand onto the floor and to rotate a little bit through the arm so that the thumb side of the hand is coming towards the floor. And we're going to softly extend the fingers. So you're breathing and noticing here. And when you do this all, you're going to notice what happens in your shoulders. So did your shoulders pop up? Did they get tense? Can you be relaxed through the shoulders and work a little bit through the hand and forearm? What in the world? And then we're going to do a little floor angel, but we're going to go slow. So you're going to bring your arms out and up like you're doing a snow angel, but you're really going to notice the sensation. So we're starting closer to the body, down by the hips. And as you come up, you're going to really notice the sensation, and you're going to see if you can notice. Go slow. Because you're going to see if you can notice the first new sensation. Might be like a stretch or a pull. Might be a nervy kind of sensation, or it might feel more like a muscle. And it might happen quite early, or you might be, way up before you feel something kind of new starting to happen. So wherever you are, you're going to pause. And it might be different for different arms, right? So again, it's not that the sensation is bad or wrong or harmful or anything like that. It's just a different way of exploring this, right? So we're finding that place, we're noticing, we're seeing if we can soften. And then if the sensation dissipates a bit, maybe we go a little further. We're noticing, we're seeing if we can soften. Maybe we stay there. Maybe it feels like it'd be good to go just even a little bit further. But notice where you're coming from, right? So if you're going further, why are you doing it? Do you like your reasons? Right? Are the reasons in line with the intention for the practice? No judgment, right? Just notice. You have that really competitive mind. You might find yourself turning the competitive mind towards non-competitiveness, right? So can I be the most non-competitive of anybody? It's a funny quirk. Like I said, I have this mind, so I recognize it. So we're just kind of exploring this movement and the sensation that you feel in your body, where you want to explore it. Some of us are going to be up here, some of us are going to be way down here. It's not about that. It's about what are you feeling in your body, right, as you go. Where is there tension or resistance to gravity? Where are you connected to and supported by the ground? Lovely. And then we're going to take some time here to support the legs. So I'm going to roll to the side to press up, and there's a couple of options. One is that you come to a wall and you put your legs up the wall. The other is that you get a chair, and I'm going to be lazy, so I'm not going to get a chair, but you can imagine this is the seat of the chair. So you can scoot up to a low bed, a couch, a chair, and rest your shins or your calves on the seat of the chair. And if the height of the chair isn't quite right, just pop something underneath your feet as well. If you want to take your legs up the wall, often the best way to do that is to come and sit near the wall. You don't have to be right at the wall. And then roll to the side and take your legs up. If you're in bed, people ask me if you can take your legs up the headboard. Absolutely. And again, we're going to take the arms out a little wider, right? Maybe even put some space between the feet, right? So everything can breathe. If it's comfortable, you're turning the elbow pits up. You're turning the palms of the hands up. Opening a little bit through the throat. So wherever you are, you have the legs up something. The headboard, the wall, the chair. And then you're taking some time here, letting yourself breathe. Maybe slowing your breath down a little bit. And start to notice the exhale phase of the breath. So you're breathing in. And then as you breathe out, is there any way your body can let go a little bit, get a little heavier, a little more soft? surrendering a little more to the support of the ground and the wall and the chair. Maybe your breaths are getting a little quieter. Maybe the thigh bones are getting a little heavier and down into the hip sockets. Maybe the shoulders are settling into the ground or whatever's supporting you. Maybe the muscles around the eyes might soften a little. Maybe the inner ears might also soften a little bit. There's no rush here. You might decide this is a place you want to spend a few minutes. Absolutely fine to stay here 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes if your body feels good. You might choose to now transition into a meditation practice. You might choose to return at this time. And if you're returning, just watch the rush. There's no rush. Starting by maybe gently deepening your breath, returning a little movement to your body. If your legs are up the wall, you might bend your knees and let your feet slide down the wall a little bit. If your feet are on the chair, you might bring your knees in a little closer towards your chest. And then a good way to get out of this is often to roll onto one side. Taking a moment on the side of your body and then using your hands to press you up, away from whatever you had your legs up on. So whether you're going to stay a little longer or you're going to return to the rest of your day, I want to thank you for practicing with me. Please go slowly. See if you can hang on to a little bit of this slowed down mode if you were able to get there. If you have questions or you want to share your experiences, I'd love it if you did that in the comments. Take really good care. May we all be balanced and well. Thank you so much.